Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good evening and welcome to Spring Global on Western Spring Television. Now the headlines. At least 6 persons have died, many others injured as train crushes Lagos government staff bus. At least 36 people were killed in an overnight attack in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Bomb blast in Afghanistan's northern Balkh province kills Taliban governor and 2 other persons. My name is Tunde Ido. It is a sad day for government workers in Lagos State on Thursday as a moving train rammed into a state bus conveying civil servants to work. The unfortunate crash occurred at the PWD bus stop in the Ikeja area of the state this morning. Already 6 persons have been confirmed dead by emergency responders and over 82 persons injured and rushed to the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, LASUTH in Ikeja. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who visited the hospital, said 2 persons died at the scene of the accident and 4 at the hospital. He said 85 passengers were involved in all, 42 with moderate injuries, 29 with serious injuries, while 8 have mild injuries. And here in Osun State, it's several days after the Supreme Court judgment which validates the old 500 and 1,000 naira notes to be legal tender till the 31st of December 2023. But Nigerians have been left to face confusion and uncertainty. This is as the Central Bank of Nigeria and President Muhammadu Buhari have refrained from making any statement following the judgment, leaving many Nigerians in dilemma. Toby Sanusi visited some commercial centers in Osun State and now reports.
Almost a week after the Supreme Court gave an order that the old 500 and 1,000 naira notes should coexist with the new naira notes till the 31st of December 2023. Neither President Muhammadu Buhari nor the Central Bank of Nigeria has responded to the order. This has given rise to uncertainty and skepticism among traders, artisans, business owners, and most importantly in commercial banks, where lengthy queues have become a standard. The confusion starts from commercial banks dispensing old naira notes at the counter and ATMs, coupled with stern warning to customers not to return them to banks, as narrated by some bank customers like Kazim Adewi and Temitope Adeyemi that Western Spring Television spoke to. They, however, did not accept the old notes.
People are rejecting it. So like myself now, I decided not to take old notes because I learned that people are not collecting it, the traders, they are not collecting it. So what's the essence of getting the money that you will not be able to spend? And the bank also made us to understand that once you collect it, you won't be able to deposit it back.
Once old notes, especially GTC old notes,
but for a few persons like Olusegun Alabi, who accepted 5,000 naira old notes at the bank, out of frustration, he was greeted with disappointment as no trader accepted the cash from him.
I come to the bank and they give me the old money. When I go outside to spend the money, the people in the outside, they don't collect the money from my hand. He says the money is the old money because the president is not talking. And if the CBN governor is not talking. But because of the frustration, I collect the 5,000 naira.
The situation is not different at various marketplaces where most traders like Adebanke Razak and Abiodun Omolade reject the old naira notes from buyers, except for a few traders like Mrs. Rijo Gunwola, who narrate our ordeal after accepting old naira notes.
Àwọn èèyàn tèmi náà ti interview kó tó di pé mo gba owó ìpè Hausa ti ẹlẹ́ni yẹn so gba old money o ó mọ̀ ń ta ìwà fún mi ó wá ní old money báwo o ò gba old money kí n ṣe transfer sóhun ìyá àgbàlagbà kan wá lálẹ́ àná ó ní báǹkì ló ń ti gba ilé ní First Bank lókè fíà ṣùgbọ́n gbà tó sọ pé báǹkì ló ń ti gbà á mo wá fìgbàgbọ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ láti àná ọ̀hún tí mo ti gbà á kò sẹ́ni tó gbà lọ́wọ́ mi o.
Considering one of the focus of the Naira redesign policy, which is curbing vote buying, many Nigerians believe that the spate of cash crunch, which has triggered frustration and anger in many, will subside after the March elections. To clear the uncertainty, many Nigerians have called on the federal government to make a firm statement about the court order and allow for cash flow to ease up frustrations and hardship in the country.
tá fẹ́ káwọn ìjọba ṣe lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni pé kí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ sókè especially president wa kó sọ̀rọ̀ sókè tó bá fẹ́ ká máa náwó yìí lọ ni kó jẹ́ ká máa ná lọ tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ ká ná at least kí wọ́n print enough money tó máa tó wa at least owó wa ni àtọrọ owó lọ́wọ́ anybody wọn á ṣiṣẹ́ fowó wa ni tó bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ ká lo báǹkì wọn kó jẹ́ ká mọ̀ so that kálukú á lè go back home láti prepare ara ẹ̀.
Most of the traders in these markets are still skeptical as to whether to accept the old Naira notes or not to accept them. They say they await a go-ahead from the Central Bank of Nigeria and President Muhammadu Buhari. While that is not yet forthcoming, the frustration and hardship witnessed by Nigerians is yet to subside. For Western Spring Television, Toby Sanusi reporting.
Hours after the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) postponed the governorship and state assembly elections scheduled to hold on March 11th by 1 week, some residents of Osun State have reacted to it. INEC's decision was due to the Commission's inability to earnestly commence reconfiguration of the bimodal voter accreditation system machines utilized during the February 25th presidential and national assembly in the state elections. Residents like Aloysius Chukudrum and Tunrayo Abiri said they were not pleased with the postponement because they had thought after the election on Saturday there would be free flow of cash, and they hoped the election was postponed in the interest of Nigerians. Samuel Olasukomi, on the other hand, said the federal government has the right to do anything, so he is indifferent about the postponement, while Aminat Oyetunji said the election postponement has altered her schedule. Meanwhile, the governorship and State House of Assembly polls was postponed to March 18th, 2023.
I must be very frank. Me, personally, I am not happy. Because they are now, what they are doing now is to add to our problem. We thought after this Saturday, things could return. I trekked, I packed my motor for a long time. I don't eat. I have only just 1,000 naira old note while I have money in the bank. It's unfair. I'm from bank now. So the postponement is bad, and they have added to our Nigerian problem.
Actually, I was surprised when I read it this morning. I think midnight, after my midnight prayer, I saw it online on different platforms. I was like, wow, without any reason, no cogent reason. Actually, I was baffled. I was like, what happened? And I could see, I read people's comments under that different platform. Why? Why do they postpone it? For what reason? The way these people are handling we citizens, I can't even understand it.
Normally, there's nothing we can do about it because they are sent message from federal government that they are postponing to next week. So there's nothing we can do about it. We have to be patient for it.
I feel by when I heard about the election. So I'm supposed to get back to my place on Sunday, but now I can't go again. So
A news outside Nigeria, at least 36 people were killed during an overnight attack on a village in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. According to local officials, the assailants were believed to be members of the Allied Democratic Forces, a Ugandan armed group based in Eastern DRC. Provisional Governor Kali Nzanzu Kasivita said on Twitter that at least 36 people had been killed in the attack, which began yesterday evening. He revealed that the attack targeted the village of Mukondi, 19 miles south of the city of Bini in North Kivu province, an area plagued with rebel activity. The United Nations Security Council has extended sanctions and an arms embargo against Sudan by a year. The 15-member council voted to renew the mandate of the panel of experts charged with monitoring and implementing the sanctions and embargo until 12th March next year. 13 countries voted in favor of the motion, with Russia and China abstaining. China's representative Dai Bing said the sanctions were outdated and should be lifted because things have improved on the ground. Russia's Dmitry Polyansky said the sanctions regime did not reflect the situation in Darfur and was preventing the Sudan government from state building and achieving socio-economic development, while the United States representative John Kelly said he endorsed the incentive and a continuation of monitoring and reporting. To the Russia-Ukraine war, Russia says there are still a lot of questions yet to be answered concerning the Black Sea grain deal. The Black Sea Grain Initiative, which allows grain to be safely exported from Ukrainian ports, expired on the 18th of March, but cannot be extended if Russia objects. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov disclosed in a news chart, stating that there are no plans for a meeting with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. This comes as UN Secretary General met with Ukraine's President Zelensky in Kiev yesterday to discuss the initiative. Mr. Guterres, in a press conference after the meeting, said the initiative was critically necessary for the world. He further called on all signatories to work to create the conditions to enable the greatest possible use of export infrastructure through the Black Sea in line with the objectives of the initiative.
The Grain Initiative, agreed last July in Istanbul, has provided for the export of 23 million tons of grain from Ukrainian ports. It contributed to lowering the global cost of food and has offered critical relief to people who are also paying a high price for this war, particularly in the developing world. Indeed, the Food and Agriculture Organization's food price index has fallen by almost 20% over the last year. Exports of Ukrainian as well as Russian food and fertilizer are essential to global food security and food prices. I want to underscore the critical importance of the rollover of the Black Sea Grain Initiative on 18 March and of working to create the conditions to enable the greatest possible use of export infrastructures through the Black Sea in line with the objectives of the initiative. Safety and security around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is also vital. I believe that a possible mediation to seek the full demilitarization of the area.
Meanwhile, the chief of the Lithuanian military intelligence says Russia has enough resources to continue the war in Ukraine for 2 years. Lithuania Security Services Chief Eligigas Polavicius told reporters in Vilnius, noting that the resources which Russia has at the moment will be enough to continue the war at the present intensity for 2 years. He stated that this takes into account what Russia has presently, such as strategic reserve, equipment, ammunition, armaments. He added that how long Russia is able to wage the war will also depend on the support for Russia's military from states such as Iran and North Korea. In the meantime, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Moscow won't avoid responsibility for its latest wave of missile strikes on Ukraine. In a statement posted on Telegram, the Ukrainian leader said critical infrastructure and residential buildings in 10 Ukrainian regions had been hit in the attack. This comes as Ukrainian officials confirmed the death of 6 people, 2 in Kiev, 3 in Kherson, and 1 in Dnipro. Meanwhile, Russia's Ministry of Defense said its forces had carried out a massive retaliatory strike on Ukrainian infrastructure after an attack in Russia's Bryansk region, which borders Ukraine, last week. In the Middle East, Israeli forces have killed 3 Palestinians in a raid in Jenin in the northern occupied West Bank less than 48 hours after 6 others were killed in another raid on the city. The Palestinian Ministry of Health said the 3 men shot dead this morning were identified as Ahmad Fashafasi, Sofian Faroukri, and Naif Malasse. It was guarded that Fashafasi, Faroukri, and Malasse were shot dead inside a car in the village of Jabba, south of Jenin, in what has been described by Palestinians as an execution. Israeli military released footage of its special forces, including undercover units in civilian clothing, raiding Jabba at 6 a.m. local time. Local media outlets reported that an exchange of fire between Palestinian fighters and Israeli forces ensued. In the United States, prosecutors have said a 6-year-old boy who shot his teacher in a primary school in the U.S. state of Virginia is unlikely to be charged. Police said the child brought the gun in his backpack to Richneck Elementary School on 6 January, shooting his teacher, 25-year-old Abigail Zewena, in the hand and chest, which she later survived. However, Newport News Commonwealth Attorney Howard Gwynn said that his office will not seek charges against the boy. He said the prospect that a 6-year-old can stand trial is problematic because the child is too young to understand the legal system. He, however, did not rule out if any adult will face criminal charges in the case.